You troll. Oh, he's getting on the train? Go on, get! Go on, get! Alright. Yeah, anyways. We've kind of like, touched base on this pretty well. You know, having said that, is he jumping off? Don't jump off. Don't jump off. Alright, see ya. So like having said that, you know, and like just establishing beefs and like navigating through the drama, what is it like creating and maintaining the friendships in RDR? You know, what are the complications you might have, especially, you know, when it comes to being judged for every decision you make, or picking sides, creating new enemies from that, or creating new friends from that. How do you guys go about
having other friends outside the crew? It's difficult due to my reputation, and pretty much, I don't want to say all, but most are cheaters. Due to my reputation, it's hard to hang out with my friends that I do know cheat, so I don't hang out with them, which sucks, but I do it for my reputation.
So like
Nothing like
the strictly clean reputation. Like you.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. I mean, yeah, because I have multiple people say that I pull people into boot or I pull in the cheaters. You know, no, I actually don't. I have some that I'm friends with, but I do not associate with them anymore due to this crew. You know, it's my reputation on the line, which is important to me because that's. I mean, it's starting this in January. I want to keep it up to my standards. You know.
Yeah.
It's nothing like personal against them, but in this game, I will not hang out with them, you know, due to that fact of my reputation.
So the judgment is like, you know, casted upon you, like you're forced to pick sides, and then they get salty about that, and
Yes.
then they come after you.
Yes.
Okay. Any crews in
A lot.
particular, or you
Um,
want to give names, or?
I mean, he's been mentioned before. Daft Shelf.
Lols.
Yeah, me and him was pretty good friends, you know, and I actually agreed with what he did. He fought fire with fire. I've never pulled him in to help us fight ever.
Okay.
The only time I've ever, which he's never came, like I said, but I mean, there was times like, oh, hey, Shelf, you know, I'd ask him, you know, this guy's booting me, and you know, I've been held off for like 5 hours, and I'm like, what do I do? You know, because I'm stupid as hell when it comes to technology. And it's just, and then I started noticing, you know, especially with one of my own members, Wisman here, he got booted by Daft Rose for just simply speaking truth.
Oh my God.
And we are
This guy.
clean. We are clean players, but yet they fight fire with fire. So, you know, I called them out on it. They don't deny it. I've asked them, posted it, and it's just, that's one that kind of sucked because I was really for what he was for. It was fighting fire with fire.
Yeah.
And then I started discovering, you know, with my own eyes, my own proof that it's a lie.
Yeah, and obviously there were huge lies that were uncovered about him. Did it surprise you when everything he was feeding his community was all bullshit? Whether it's, you know, the yacht, the helicopter. Now he has like a gun range or something. Apparently he owns a gun range now. I'm hearing. I get like live feeds every now and then
Yeah,
from
I mean,
from people.
I keep the personal stuff out,
Yeah.
honestly. I don't really even like to comment regarding personal stuff, even on TikToks. I just keep it in game. This is what I'm doing on my TikTok is the Red Dead community. I keep personal out. You know, that beef regarding Shelf with his yacht or whatever else was said. Like I said, I don't really keep up on it because I can't
The
really comment on
the
it. I
cancer.
think it just needs to be, yeah. I just kind of mind my own business on that part. I keep it strictly Red Dead.
Which is smart on your end. I get that, but he was, oh my God, he was literally volunteering the information. He was creating this facade to his friends and crew members. And you're saying that that didn't affect you at all? Like, even if it is personal and it's like none of your business, does it really surprise you that all this stuff happened when you know you saw other lies when he pretended to be like a I guess you can say some sort of booting vigilante?
I don't want to say because I mean I don't know the guy from Adam,
Mm-hmm.
but like being hanging out with him back in the day, and it when I thought or assumed, I mean I still don't know, because I never really looked into it,
Mm-hmm.
because I like I said I keep that personal stuff away from me. It sucked to hear it because I genuinely thought he was a good friend of mine, and it really hit home because I mean, cancer hits home for anybody. We're
Mm-hmm.
all been affected by it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to hear that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I mean, so now with it being questionable, true or not, regardless at the end of the day, if you are joking about a matter like that, it's absolutely disgusting.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
But like I
Reprehensible.
said, I have no idea on the part because I don't keep up with the personal stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely it's definitely tough to kind of talk about and things like that. But it just goes to show you like, you know, you detecting lies earlier on usually correlate to
Mhm.
other lies. And oh my God, this guy,
Oh my
Okay.
this
God.
guy is on. Get him! Oh my God. Oh, that's right. Dead in the tracks.
We've been nice long enough.
Um, yeah, just to conclude the whole, I don't want to spend too much time talking about this guy, but like, I must have
Yeah.
counted at least like 13, 14 bullshit things that he's told people that he really milks and like kind of like plays the victim card, and then disbanding DAF. I don't necessarily believe that. I think that they just became too irrelevant to stay active, and then they lost a whole bunch of members and played the pity card. I do think that they'll be back. I know that Shelf loves the attention. Every time I read a comment about him, he's always just talking about himself. And also
So,
pretending to be anonymous or being in anonymous or like to be like anonymous. I mean, that
Hmm.
shit's such a joke to me, especially if someone who actually like went to school in IT. That's such an insult. All I gotta say is you're not that guy, bro. I know guys like that, and you're just not him. That's all I'm gonna
now,
say.
I would like to talk about it a little bit more, just off of what Valkyrie was saying, regarding like calling in cheaters or stuff like that. Because I have invited Shelf to a couple of lobbies here or there. Um, Most were for somebody who he was already after, and I'm
Hmm.
just like, oh look, I'm in a lot. I didn't like the guy either, so I was like, okay, yeah, come and get him. Um, the first encounter I ever had like that was Shelf. Because back then I liked him. I thought he was a cool dude. I agreed with it. Fire
Hmm.
with fire.
Yeah, a
Fuck him
lot of
up.
people respected him.
Um, I pulled him in, and I was like, yeah, dude, we just keep getting soft booted. There's two posses of them. I do believe at the time he said it was BVG, and then he said that we should just pull. But he was like, well, I have all of their stuff. Just you and your friends leave, and you just tell me, when, and I'll do it. And then, I'm sure I could find the messages. I was just pretty much like, yeah, we're gonna leave anyways. Not really that big of a deal.
So he's saying
But
for you
I
to
was
pull
like,
out of the fight, and then he'll hit them offline.
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
And I was just like, yeah, I called him in there, because they were booting us. I just wanted to know for sure, more so. And like, if they are, hey, go after them, get them. I'm not
Hmm.
saying like, it's not like boot them for me. It's just like, hey, look, these are the people that you don't like.
Yeah,
Get them.
yeah. And tons of people do this. It's okay.
And
It's normal.
right, and that's what I mean. Well, he wanted to bring up the fact that, because it was like we had a conversation about him booting me offline. And he wanted to say, oh, well, what about all the times you called for help from me? And I was like, well, I only ever brought you into a lobby to boot people. I guess technically you could say that one time, and I never even told you to boot them. We ended up leaving the lobby,
Yeah.
and then it's just he told me that I was using him.
Yet
He's
he
like,
was
that was,
he was like
but
volunteering
right.
his
If you
services.
look at if you look at any TikTok with cheaters, he is oh, where was my invite? Why wasn't I invited? Why didn't you message me?
Okay,
You
okay.
should have invited me. And it's just like,
They-
well, now that I did that, now you're gonna use it against me?
yeah.
Like, come on.
There's a certain amount of hypocrisy, especially when he's like using someone else. I think he's using his side piece, Rose, to boot people. I think she's gotten me before, which was really cute.
It was just dumb pettiness for no
Yeah.
reason.
Yeah, she's gotta, she's gotta play her part. And they'll
Well-
deny it till they die, obviously.
Yeah. And I mean, the reason he got booted off was even stupider. The reason he got booted off was because he literally said in a party, so we had spawned in on a DAF member that we used to be friends with before she even joined DAF. And we were just popping in to say hi to her, catch up, make small talk, that sort of thing. And Red Scarlet ended up spawning in, and so we started fighting him, and then more DAF started showing up. So they're like, oh, well, you can join our posse if you want, or whatever. And Wiz literally said, this is what he said. He said, normally we wouldn't join a posse that cheats, but for Red Scarlet, we'll make an exception. That's all he said.
Okay.
And then after the fight, he literally got booted from her.
Nice.
Yeah, it was just, I was like, normally we wouldn't join a posse, with people who are gonna boot or, cheat in any way. Like, if we're fighting somebody and someone spawns in defensive and starts fighting, like, we won't fight them anymore. Like, yeah, that guy can have his fun. Go for it. Like, we're not gonna, stand beside somebody cheating. And I was like, but it's Red Scarlet, so we'll make the exception. 'Cause
Yeah.
Fuck that guy.
Yeah, a
And
common
it's-
opinion about him. Yeah.
Yeah, and I just stated something that was already, like, known about our crew, about us. Like, we've said that to Shelf in, like, party before. And it's just like, man, you're gonna boot me over something so petty.
Yeah.
And it's just like, okay.
You get booted over existing at some point.
Yeah,
you
pretty
know.
much.
And he
People-
was booted for 5 hours. It wasn't just a small boot. He was booted off
Yeah.
for like 5-6 hours.
Yeah.
It was ridiculous.
Definitely distributed denial of service. And these people, this is kind of like where I disagree with a lot of this stuff, but like booting is such an old practice. I mean, I think people were booting routers in like the 90s. I find it really pathetic to glorify these basic kindergarten-like practices as if like you're some sort of a badass when, you didn't write any of your code. You don't know the first thing about hacking. You probably don't know the first thing about Anonymous or how it works. And you're trying to be these people that know way more than you, that are actually dangerous. They could steal money. They could steal identities. They could do all sorts of things to ruin lives. And you're there like stalking people's like information and just trying to dox people. It's like insanely childish. But
Agreed.
it's definitely pretty sad to see, especially when it comes to like actually pulling IPs, because even in Red Dead, Wiz, you were talking about this. It's remarkably easy to just find people's IP addresses and then just like hit people off. It's nothing difficult. Right?
Yes. Just based off of my conversations with people who have done it, and Shelf himself, and just from watching YouTube videos and stuff, just to learn more about it. It's just apparently all of our IPs, essentially, like in the lobby, they're just all together. So like once somebody gets in, they just have them all, rather than like it being, oh well, you got to get into this place and get this person's, and then get into that place and get theirs. It's just like all together, so they can just go down the list.
Really
I
fast.
don't do it. I don't know. I could be talking out of my ass here, but that's just from what I've heard and like what I have seen like on YouTube and shit. And it's just, it's remarkably easy to do, and it's just like
And people get
It's
like power hungry over it. You've asked people to boot for you, and tons of people do it. Even especially girls. I see a lot of girls like running to booters and being like, "Oh, can you take this guy down, take him down, or whatever?" And it's like, I guess it is. I guess it is convenient to have some sort of gratification, but I mean, you're still, you're still encouraging illegal activities, and people should really think about like, what you're doing to someone. It should never escalate past the video game, and I don't think anyone really deserves being booted offline unless you're the one who's, booting people. I mean, you should just
Yep.
you should just like take a break from the internet in general, because that's a pretty hard L.
Take a walk outside.
Yeah,
See
take a walk.
nature.
You just gotta
Have
evaluate your
some
life.
grass.
Yeah,
Go to a museum or something. Like, do
yeah,
anything.
yeah. If you talk to real hackers, they would laugh in your face. Listening to you talk about how you kick people out of games and stuff like that.
Right, like, they're over here like, oh yeah, I booted him offline for 5 hours. And I mean, like, there's people who have literally taken down every Microsoft service for
Yeah.
days.
Yeah,
like,
yeah. Amazon, everybody's gotten, all the big guys
right,
got
like
taken
you have
down.
people hacking banks
Yeah.
and shit.
Oh yeah,
Stealing
I have,
money.
I have
Like,
a
man.
friend in high school. When he went to college, he got in trouble because he hacked into a government site.
Yeah.
Gosh.
Just
Oh,
just goofing
goodness.
off.
Yeah.
Right.
yeah, he couldn't
That's
use
wild.
a computer for like 5 or 6 years or something like that.
Yeah, that's
I
rough.
don't know, like, and I mean, like, I could understand to a point, like, maybe they're interested in that sort of stuff and they like that, whole stigma. But it's just, it's like, oh,
Well, look
that
at,
guy's he's really cool. I want to be like him. And then they're like, oh yeah, that guy's a good hacker. I want to be like him. I'm gonna boot everybody offline that talks shit to me. Like,
but an actual hacker has to do so much homework and so much research and so much schooling just to keep up with
Right.
like today's practices. It really is complicated. You got to be really tech savvy.
these guys pay $20 a month for a fucking subscription.
Exactly. You got to get your VPN, you got to get your IP puller, you got to get your panel. It's not it's nothing to brag about, especially if you're a trust fund kid who has like no job and you're someone else is paying for your subscriptions and things like that. I mean, I guess you want to feel like accomplished or something, despite how useless your life may be. But this is not the way to do it. And smart people see through that shit. Smart people see through, what you're doing and how easy it is. It's a pay-to-play illegal mechanic. Anyways, all right, this is the graveyard. We're not gonna go in right away. Don't.